Please welcome to the stage the director of the University of Utah's LGBT Resource Center, Kai Martinez.
Good evening. It's my distinct pleasure and honor to introduce our next awardee. In stride with her use of poetry as a teaching method, as well as a way of introducing the agenda for our meeting, no other introductory approach would suffice. So here goes. Dr. Kathryn Stockton, Distinguished Professor of English and currently the Interim Associate Vice President for Equity for Diversity at the University of Utah, has been invoking the thoughts and minds in the classroom for 20 plus years. Nationally known, most celebrated theorist of gender and queer. From Yale Divinity School, she interrogates the idea of what it means to be a girl or a guy, receiving countless awards and infinite accolades, hell, even the Rosenbach Prize. In a world where both queer and racial identity intersect and which are often policed, she teaches with unique style. If you don't believe me, read her recent book, The Queer Child. She challenges the nation, state, and campus on the status quo. Now this is where I say the F word, but I'm not gonna do that. Let's turn to the screen and hear what her admirers know.
Please welcome to the stage Allies Award winner, Kathryn Stockton.
I am so humbled, I am almost speechless. Emphasis on almost. And to share the stage with Mr. O'Donovan, it just doesn't get sweeter, let me tell you that. So this is a thrilling night for me. Let me say, my friends, I've got good news. Public culture is just catching up to what we've been teaching at the U since 1990. And so tonight, I'm talking to queers. Straight queers, gay queers, trans queers, bi queers, every ally of every queer, which makes you queer, and especially non-metropolitan queers, since nothing's queer than non-urban queers. You small city, red state queers, I am talking lovingly, I am talking liquidly to everyone here. Indeed, I came to Utah in 1987 as a queer pioneer. My goal, to be a missionary to the missionaries. I think it's worked. I've not become a Mormon, but they are full of gays. I say this sweetly since I have loved my thousands of Mormon encounters. And hear me humbly say, I don't know that I was born gay, but I am surely queer. I was female assigned at birth, though thought I was a boy mistaken for a girl. Born now, I might be trans, but I had no such concept as a child or a teen. Like a normal boy, I was drawn to girls, after we as boys got over hating girls. But since my world saw me as a girl, though I was to my mind the ultimate straight man seeking normally feminine women, I turned out a lesbian against my will, but in accord with my desires. As for my girlfriend, love you, baby doll, she was female assigned at birth and grew up to her mind normally feminine as a rural Mormon raised in rural Utah. Though she is not a lesbian, she's in love with me, which has made her queer. So I'm not a lesbian, but I am a gayish queer. She's not a lesbian, but she's a straightish queer. Yet we have been a lesbian couple now for 25 years. And I've been making lesbians ever since I realized I was going to be one. I've had a little game to cheer myself up whenever I am low, called Femmes at the mall. You know what I do, hit a shopping center and imagine that every appealing woman whom I deem feminine is a femme lesbian until proven otherwise. Since I never test them, they are not disproven. And therefore, due to this generous practice, the world is virtually full of lesbians, thanks to me. Which takes me to seduction, which is where I'll end. We queer folk spent so many centuries crafting lifestyles the world so greenly envied. That is why we were hated in part. A huge part of homophobic thinking has resented us for the lives we've led, viewing queer life as a form of hedonism, as too much fun. I take that as a compliment. Thus, as I'm rather fond of saying, no one, not even right-wing wingnuts, has been deeming queerness unnatural. They've deemed it hypernatural. Everybody's going queer if we let them, because it has seemed like seductive cheating to live our lives, marriage-free, child-free, soaked in pleasure. So it was said. A few things have changed it there. And so I plead, let's be the pleasure seekers in several different senses. Queer, the golden rule. Queer, Pope Francis. Seduce your neighbor as you would be seduced. No, not sexually, though maybe that also, but intellectually, culturally, fiercely, financially. Practice a more surprising seduction. Seduce your neighbor, along with yourself, into the pleasure-spreading policy of redistributing wealth, perhaps your own. We can widen pleasure as a pleasure-seeking people. And one more seduction. Let's seduce our neighbors, along with ourselves, into ending racism in a generation. People say, let's cure cancer in our lifetime. Let's cure HIV. I'm down with that. But the cancer-eating culture is racist speech and action. It is killing pleasure and often killing people. My friends, are you angry? I hope so. But let one face of your anger be seduction. Let's draw others into anti-racist pleasures. And by all means, let's queer Jesse Jackson. Keep desire alive. Go home tonight and practice queer desire. Multiply pleasure. It's your queer duty. It's the cool golden rule. Thank you so much.